But when I was 14, it was like my world was collapsing.
Of course.
So, but I think it's good to have rivals because they push you to be better. If everyone's just friends, we're like, oh, la, la, la. But if you have someone that you always want to beat, you always push yourself a little bit harder.
Hello, my name is Dasha Kalinovska and this is my interview show Bunkeren. Today my guest is Julia Thorsen.
Hello.
And this is a Norwegian diver with more than 200 medals. I even asked you yesterday to be more like correct about this. Also journalist and known maybe more as TV2 lady. I'm pretty sure that people seen you on TikTok, your TikTok news videos. This is like short forms of news for more young generation, which is pretty cool, I think. And welcome to my show.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
So before we're gonna come to the main part of the interview, I would like to warm up a little bit, and we can start with lightning round. So I ask you quickly different questions, and you just say the first thing what comes to your mind. Okay?
Yes.
Ready?
Yeah.
Amazing. So what's your favorite season?
Summer.
Summer.
Yes.
Bergen or Oslo?
Bergen.
Understandable.
Obviously.
How you can say about Oslo in Bergen. Book or movie?
A movie.
Okay. TikTok or Snapchat?
TikTok.
TikTok. Finish the sentence. I have never in my life.
Written a book.
Really?
I don't know.
You never read a book?
No, written.
Written.
Myself.
Yes, that's
I've read
true.
some
That's
books,
that's another chapter.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit
One day.
later. Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
To have a lot of money or to be famous?
Ooh. To have a lot of money, but nobody knows.
Describe yourself with 3 words.
Kind, hopefully. Funny and informative.
What's your hidden talent?
I can do this, but I can only do it sometimes. So don't don't show if I can't do it. Wait.
Wow!
No, wait, I can do it. Wait. Yeah.
Wow! It's
so
super
weird.
interesting. How is it even possible?
I
How
don't
it
know.
works?
I have no idea.
But how did you find this?
I don't even know. I think I just saw it on a video or something, and they just did this, and you, and then a whistle sound.
Wow.
That's my only
That's
talent.
hidden talent. Last movie you watched?
Oh, it's been a while, but it was probably some romantic comedy, like Just Go With It or something.
By the way, what is your favorite kind of movie?
Romantic comedy.
Romantic.
I
Something
love
to
it.
cry.
Something easy that is funny and touching and romantic. Yeah.
Romantic
Yeah.
drama. Finish the sentence. Every day your habit.
Try to make people smile.
Wow. Wow, it sounds good. Finish the sentence. For my 25 years, I am proud that I
Came this far.
came this far. What exactly means it's for you?
When I was younger, my whole life was diving, and I didn't know what I was going to do after. So I was kind of panicking about that the whole time, because I thought that when diving ended, I was like, oh, who am I going to be? So that I found a passion and really stuck to it.
That's really good to find yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think the people who want to achieve something in their life stressing a lot about what exactly it's going to be, where I have to develop, what should I choose, which job, or how to move. And that's good when you really find your right place and you can just develop, work hard, and achieve something in that.
Yeah.
But Julia, you are super versatile person, I can say, and I feel that we can talk about different topics with you. But I would like to start firstly with something personal. This is little Julia. And also, by the way, we are colleagues, and I can say that Julia is my friend. And we had different conversations, and I paid attention that you mention your parents super warmly. And sometimes you even post content with them, super beautiful moments and etc. So it's possible to understand that you have deep a connection with them and nice relationship. So growing up, can you say that they were more focusing on discipline or love?
My dad was my coach when I was diving, so he was
Wow.
So that relationship has always been very close, but also very focused. So he was quite the disciplinary parent. He was like, you have to come to practice in time, you have to do this in time, you have to be kind, you have to be structured, you need to, so he had a lot of plans about what my life was going to be, and he helped me become the person that I was. And I didn't spend a lot of time with my mom because I was always at the pool with my dad. I was always traveling to competitions with my dad. So me and my dad were very close from the start. But of course, when he was my coach, we also were bickering and fighting, and he had some expectations, and I was like, ugh, and you always become a bitchy teen. Like that's just how it is. And my mom was always the parent who was at home, made the dinner, was always ready. If I needed to cry, I could come to her. So it started as very different. I had very different relationships with each of my parents. But as I grew older and I stopped diving, I was also very nervous about how that would affect my relationship with them. But it's just grown stronger. After I quit diving, when I quit diving myself, I'm still in diving. Like I'm a coach and I'm a judge. So I still get to spend time with my dad, and my mother is also a judge. So it really helps that we have the same interests. That diving has really actually kept us together, because then we always have something to talk about. And if I'm home, I always go up to my mom and hang out with her. And if my dad comes, we're just very close, and I'm very lucky. And I'm also very, very thankful that they had discipline, because I think that if they let me do whatever I wanted, I wouldn't have this kind of relationship and respect. So they did very well, and I often ask them, how did you do it? And they're like, we don't know. But I will try to do the same with my kids.
But you as little Julia, how it's to see your father coach and not like, Father, who you come and just put your head to the shoulder, cry maybe, and ask for support?
It was hard sometimes. I always had so much respect for him, and it was hard seeing him be my coach and also a lot of other children's coaches, because I always felt like he was stricter with me because he had more expectations, and he knew that he could be stricter with me, and if he did the same to the other divers, it wouldn't work, because they could go home and be like, oh, he was so mean to me, but I couldn't. I had to go home with him and be like, yes, Dad, it's okay.
I love you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to bed. So it was hard sometimes, and I often told him, like, you don't treat me the same as the other divers. And he was like, yes. I was like, no. Everyone can see that it's not. But so it was hard sometimes, but I'm very thankful now that I got all of that time with him, because if I didn't dive, then I probably wouldn't have seen him, because he would be at the pool anyway. So either I could be there and hang out with him and become a diver and do something that I loved, or I could just sit at home.
Yeah. Here we have like a little bit same situation, because my father was also the same like mentor for me in my life. And I can say that when I was younger, it was harder for me, and I was thinking why. And sometimes, of course, I could just be offended and etc. But nowadays, I totally agree with you. I'm super grateful, because all of that helped me to be as I am today, and just have target and do without something. So it has also a big plus, I think.
Yeah.
But how diving came in your life? Was that idea of your parents, or maybe you just had big desire?
So when I was born, my dad was actually the national coach of Norway. So he was the team leader. So when I was born, my parents drove me to the swimming pool before they drove me home. So I didn't really have a choice. So they were like, oh, you're going to be a diver. But I tried other sports. I did basketball. I did one training of football. Not for me. I did High School Musical dance. I did hip hop. But it was always, you're a diver, but you can try other things. But you have to do that and diving. So I didn't get any less practices from diving. I just had to do more things. And as I got older, I was like, no, I don't have the energy for this. So it was always diving. And it was also the thing I was best at. So it was obviously more fun, and I had most of my friends there. And diving in Norway is such a small community, so it's a family. And I always wanted to be there. And if I wasn't practicing, I wanted to hang out with the people. So it wasn't a hard choice at all.
Did you feel that this is something what you want to do, or is just you feel pressed from your parents?
I think it started as just something that was expected of me. Like, of course, I'm going to be a diver. When I was born, I was a diver. Didn't have a choice. But then as I grew older, like the passion came from within. Like when I realized that, oh, this is something I'm good at, and I like to evolve in the sport, and I think it's fun and it's challenging enough that I want to come back and become better. So it started as something that was expected, but then it really became a passion, and that's why I'm still in the sport today.
But diving, this is not ordinary sport, I could say.
No.
And this is really huge distance, for example. And if you're not brave, I think you can't do that. So how again, little Julia, were like not afraid to do that?
She was always afraid. She was. But it really helps when you have the support team, and you always do a lot of preparation. So when I was little, we had belts. So my dad held belts, and I had it around my waist, and he like flung me in the air. So I always did the dives. There was a lot of preparation, and at home we did a lot, and mental training. So from when I was very young, it was always like, I know it's scary, but you need to try. And oftentimes when you tried, sometimes you failed, but you always try it again. And then at some point you do it correctly, and then it's fine. And when you've done that enough times, you know the process. You know, in the start, very scary, prepare, try, maybe fail, try again, and then.
It's possible to understand that you put a lot of effort in all of that. And I could assume also that you didn't have a lot of free time as a child.
True.
And I even gonna read your words from one of the article with you. Training was twice a day. And on weekends, I could be out from the 5:30 in the morning until 7:30 in the evening. It was no life. So how was your childhood?
My childhood was fine, and I wouldn't change it for anything because I had my friends there. I didn't have to do so many things in the afternoon because I knew that it was like a hangout every single afternoon. It was harder when they didn't come to practice because then I was like, what is my life? But when they were there, it was fine because it was always safety. But it was hard waking up at 5:30 every morning, getting out of the house, going to practice, going to school, having no energy, and then going right back to practice, and then just falling asleep. So the social aspect wasn't that hard because of the friends, and I had my dad and everything, but it was harder balancing that with school and also the people at school. They didn't really ever see the real me because I was always so tired. So I didn't really have a lot of friends in school. Or I did when I was younger, because then they just understood. They were like, oh, she's the diver. But when I got to high school, or videregående, they didn't really understand. And then it was hard because I didn't have the energy to explain to them, I'm not really like this, but it's just 3 years. So I got over it. Like,
who were your friends in that moment? Who were your best friends, I mean?
The divers.
The divers.
Yeah, they were there for the whole time, and they understood because they had the same life. They didn't have the dad as the coach, so they were lucky there.
Here was more complicated for you?
Yeah, but they knew what I was going through because they saw it all. So that was really nice, and I'm so happy that I had such good friends there.
But you mentioned school, your classmates, for example. How did they react the lack of time with you? Because why I'm saying that? From my experience, I was dancing ballroom dance around 10 years. And I also spent a lot of time at the trainings, at the competitions, and etc. And it brought me to the point where my classmates were against me because they thought that I don't have desire to be with them or spend time with them. So Did you have situations like this?
I didn't really get invited to parties and stuff, so when they were hanging out, they just didn't invite me because I really wasn't a person in their life. And now I understand because they didn't really, as I said, know me because I didn't have energy to show myself, so I don't blame them at all. But it was lonely at school. But I didn't feel like they were against me. I just felt like they didn't think of me. And I understand.
Like you are not a part of that.
Yeah, I was just a person who came in a class, went out, came in, went. They never saw me outside of school, so I was just, they just didn't remember.
The next topic I would like to discuss, this is competitions. And competitions, this is something very competitive, right? And this experience sometimes can be super traumatic. Again, from my experience, this is when with your friends in the club, you are now friends, but in 5 minutes, when you are at the competition, you are rivals. And you're rivals with everyone. So this can be traumatic because it can bring you again to the point or constant feeling to win, to be the best, to be the first. And to this need of perfection. Do you feel that this like resonate you? Was that also in your life, or it's more privilege, this part, competitions in your life, or maybe something else?
When I was diving, my best friends were 1 year and 2 years younger than me. So in diving, we have age groups. I don't know how it is in ballroom, but in diving, like you have C, B, A, senior.
The same.
Yeah. So because they were younger, I always had 1 year ahead of them. So I had 1 year where I didn't compete against them at all, which was nice. But they always understood that I do the most training. I have a privilege because my dad is my coach, so I can train all the time. So I was the one going to Europeans and Worlds, and they didn't. So it wasn't like, and we were never angry at each other. Our fights were never about competition. It was always about other drama, stupid things. So we had a pretty normal friendship, but I had people from other clubs who I was more rivals with, and that was hard. I had a friend that I was so close with. Our family and her family were like one big family, and one day, no more. Didn't want to speak to me, nothing. So that was hard, but...
Because of the competitions?
I'm not sure, but it was, I think it was a build-up, and then one day it was just too much. So, but now she's living a beautiful life, and I have my life, so now we think back and it's like, oh, it was stupid drama. But when I was 14, it was like, my world was collapsing.
Of course.
So, but I think it's good to have rivals because they push you to be better. If everyone's just friends, we're like, oh, la, la, la. But if you have someone that you always want to beat, you always push yourself a little bit harder.
But what about your life now? Do you still have these feelings to be the best, to be the first, to be better, and etc.?
Yeah, I always want to be better, but now my competitor is myself. So if one day I feel off, I'm like, oh, I can do better. I've done better before. And also, since I work at TV2, the other news stations are also my competitors. Not that they know, but I know. I'm like, I know that you're going to make this video. So I'm going to make it faster.
So in other medias, you mean?
Yeah. So, and I don't know anyone from other places, but I'm like, I think you're going to do it, and I'm going to be first. So yesterday, yesterday they chose the new pope, and I was like, none of you are going to be before me. So I just ran through the office and I was like, yes, need to make it. And I was first. So I was like, yes.
But this is good.
Yeah.
Because then you bring to for media really like...
Yeah, it's very, very nice. And I think it's, so yeah, that's something that I bring from the sports and the diving to the workplace that really I think is helping me become a better reporter.
The next fact of your life. You were 13 years old and you became part of the TV show Mest from NRK, right? And as I understood, this is top young athletes from different places of Norway who met at this show, and they teach each other and compete in each other's sport. How was for you this experience when in 13 years old you became at the screens of whole country?
It was very fun. Like the filming process, I was like, this is the most fun ever. I can't believe there are cameras filming me. But when you're there, you forget that it's gonna be on TV for everyone to see. So when it was posted, it was really fun, but it was so scary. And I knew that I wasn't the best at the winter sports. Because when I grew up, it was only diving, as I said. That was the only thing I did. While other families went cross-country skiing, they did snowboard, they did everything. And it's very typical for a Norwegian to know how to ski. Not me. I did not know, and I was the only one who didn't know. So it was pretty hard being the worst. And the 5 first episodes were the winter sports. So in the 5 first episodes, I was just watching it like this. I was like, please.
Poker face.
Yeah, and I was like crying on TV. And still to this day, people ask me, do you know how to snowboard now? No, I probably haven't been on a snowboard since that day when I was 13 years old. So it was really fun, and now I'm so thankful. People come up to me and are like, yo, you touched me, it was beautiful. And I was like, are you sure? Did we see the same show? But no, it was hard, but I just laughed at the comments. If someone was mean or asked me about crying or something, I'm like, yeah, but at least I cried on TV. You know,
Nice.
at least it was recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who applied for this show? Or maybe you got invitation, or how it works?
I remember the national team leader called me and he was like, hey, I have this show and they're looking for a diver born in 1999. And since I was pretty much the only diver born in 1999, I was like, I'll do it. And then I went to an interview and they just asked me a couple of questions. I don't remember what the questions were. And then I got called into like a bigger gathering of many, many young people who they saw as competitors on the show, like they were potential candidates. And we did a lot of tests and stuff, and then I got the call, you're in. So I don't really know how they found me, but I think they just looked at different sports and were like, okay, where can we find someone here? And then they went to the national coaches. So people think that I applied, but I didn't. They just asked if there was a diver who fit this description.
Yeah, and it
then,
was you.
Yeah.
Like, are you happy for this experience in your life?
Yeah, it was very fun. And it really started the spark of loving the media, because the whole process was crazy. Like going from a person no one knew to a person everyone watched every single, I don't remember which day it was, if it was Friday or Saturday, but the show won the World Championships of Children TV, which is so weird. So sometimes if people ask for a fun fact, I'll be like, I won the Worlds in Children TV. But it wasn't really me, it was the show.
But did you feel after this show that you started to get attention from people outside?
Yeah.
It was first wave in your life?
Yeah, it was. So that was the first time I experienced being a public person. So yeah, it didn't really affect my life that much. I just took some selfies and did some autographs and I was like, this is so ugly. I can't believe you're asking for this. I still don't know how to do a good autograph. So, but it was just fun and people were nice and some people were rude, but there are always some people.
Have you ever planned to connect your life with diving, your entire life with diving, I mean?
No, it just happened. So I just felt like that was the way my life was gonna go because of my parents and my family, and I also have cousins and aunts and uncles. Everyone in my life is a part of diving almost. And if they don't dive themselves, they have a child who dives, or
you have diving family, as I understood.
My whole family is in diving. So I didn't really think about doing anything else or not being there because it was so natural for me. So it just happened.
But you knew already that it's gonna come time when you're gonna stop to dive, like, or how it was in your life.
Yeah. So when I was always nervous to stop because I didn't know, was I gonna lose the closeness to my family, what was gonna happen? So, and often people quit diving and then they just disappear for a couple of years, but then they come back. Because diving, there are not many divers in Norway. It's a very small sport. You know everyone. Everyone is friends or know of each other. We can always talk to each other. So it's a very safe place to be. But because I had my mom and dad and everything, I was like, okay, I can quit diving, but I'll just become a coach right away. So, and then I fell in love with coaching. And now I don't have that much time to coach. So now I'm a judge. And I'm going to Singapore in a couple of months alone to be a judge in the World Championships. So diving has given me so many opportunities that I would never be without. And diving is such a cool sport because you don't have to be good to go and travel places to compete. So yeah, I would never do it. I couldn't see my life without diving.
But in any way, I a little bit disagree. You said you don't have to be good. But listen, I'm talking with the person who has more than 200 medals.
But,
so you are at specific levels. That's why you are sent to Singapore.
Yeah, but that's for a judge. So, but as a diver, I was pretty good, but you don't have to be to go around the world. Because diving is so not popular in Norway, you have to travel to compete. So when I tell people about diving, I'm like, you should try, because you only have to know how to do a couple of dives, and then you can go to Italy and compete, because you need to. So I always laugh when my boyfriend tells me about his football career, and his highlight of the whole career was going to Denmark. I was like, Denmark? I went to Italy, I went to Azerbaijan, I went to China, I was like, and you're like, Denmark!
Denmark.
I'm like, you should try something else. So no, diving is a very unique sport.
Yeah. Olympic Games 2024, Paris. And Norway was represented in diving by Helle Thorsen.
Yep.
Question, I even remember super good your story where people ask you about that. Don't you think that you should have represented the country?
It was always my dream to be in the Olympics, but as I said before the interview, I started diving when I was very small, and then I just stopped growing at 142 centimeters, and that's where I was the best. So I dived the best, I had the most motivation, I just felt like things were going my way. But then in 8 months, boom, I grew 26 centimeters or something. And then I didn't recognize my body. And that were the years that I was really going to go for the Olympics. But it was like putting on another body as a suit. I didn't know how to do it anymore. And then I didn't really have the time to start all over with my diving career, learn all the dives, or I could, but I didn't have the motivation. So, of course, I wish I did. I got to the Olympics, but can't always reach all the dreams.
This experience when you wake up and you see another body and you understand that your abilities now changed, how was that?
It was a heartbreak. I think that's one of the biggest heartbreaks I've ever experienced, because I love diving and it was my whole personality, and I was always Julie the diver. I didn't know who just Julie was. Who was she? I had to figure out how to be a whole new person. So yeah, it was a heartbreak, but I just had to process being just Julie and also learning how to be a person who didn't go to the pool 6 hours a day. But yeah, it was difficult, but it was a very nice chapter in my life.
Yeah, but this is interesting because you have to learn yourself again to build something new, and for someone it can be pretty hard experience.
Yeah.
Because you can feel that you're losing time, you're not anymore where you've been, and you have to find something new. It's like, this moment when it doesn't work anymore as before, but you didn't find a way how to try something to build new. Then it's another chapter of your life where you try to find when you try to find out who is this Julia. And as I know, your parents work in the medical field.
Yep.
And I even read that you also plan to develop in this.
Yeah.
But then something happened. What?
So when I was done diving, I was also done with high school. And my grades weren't the best because my whole life had been diving. So I had to be like, okay, I want to be in the medical field, but I don't have the grades. So then you have, in Norway, you have the ability to take up courses, or yeah. So I had to do so many of them again to get the grades I needed. And I did it for 6 months.
Wow.
And I was like, no, it's so expensive, and it didn't give me anything. So then I was just looking at the different universities and what they were offering. And I was like, okay, if I try to apply for medicine, I will never get in. There's no point. So then I was like, okay, like right under it was media and communication. And I was like, okay, I like media. I've done social media for a couple of years. I know that I like the process because of mest. Let me just apply. And I had the grades to get in there. So when I got in, I was like, maybe this is for me. So that's just how my love for the media started or developed.
And as I know, you had Musically.
Yeah.
So you had already experience like promoting yourself, creating content, and etc.
So in high school, I had a Musically profile, and not a lot of Norwegians had it, so it felt very safe.
It was not popular in Norway?
It was, but nobody talked about it, and
Okay.
people were just, it's not like TikTok, because it's the same app as TikTok, but it's not as popular as it is today, because people were just lip syncing.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. Yeah.
I had this too.
Yeah.
It's like shame.
I know. So I did that, and I had no shame, because I was like, nobody's here, nobody cares. And then suddenly I became so big. I think I had 460,000 followers in the end, which is crazy. So I already knew that social media was so cool, and I thought that this is probably going to be such a big part of media in a few years, but I never knew how big of a part in my life
You
it was going to be.
predicted.
Oh, it felt like that, yeah. So, yeah, but now it's so embarrassing. But I'm happy that I did it, but I'm not happy that there are YouTube compilations about it. I'm like, delete, delete, delete. Yeah.
So you graduated from University Bergen with degree of media and
Communication.
yeah, and communication. And then it's summer, and you applied for a job at TV2, and you got it.
Yeah.
Was that luck, in your opinion?
Yes, I think so. I think I also had what they were looking for, because I applied the year before, and TV2, TV2 Sports, NRK, BA, BT, nobody, I would, no, or I didn't even get a reply. And then the year after, I was like, I need to get a job now, because I'm done. So then I applied for all of them again, and TV2 was the only one who said yes. And I asked my boss now, like, what was the reason that this time you said yeah? And she said that it was because I said that I was so motivated. Because I had basically the same application, but you also had to send in a video. And I was like, please give me a chance. You don't understand how hard I'm gonna work. And she was like, okay. So it was luck. And I was pretty smart with when I applied, because I applied really, really early. So already in January or February, I was told, yeah, you can get in. So yeah, it was a little bit of luck and a little bit of the Musically. I think that helped me, that I already grew an account there, and I also did some social media for the diving club. So I was already in the social media space and kind of knew how it worked. So I think they just believed in me, and that's all you need.
Yeah, but it sounds like your life prepared you before already for exactly this job. But from the beginning, you studied at the TV2, what is social media department in TV2. But have you ever thought that you would like to maybe write articles or something, or you already knew that creating TikToks, working with social medias, this is what you want?
As you said, it felt like my life had just been preparation for my job that I'm doing right now. I haven't really written any articles ever, so I don't know how good I am at that, but I know that I really love presenting the news to the younger generations, because it is a problem now that they don't go to TV2 or NRK or VG. They don't come to us for the news to just get the news on their phone. And then anyone can spread news. And they don't have to check if it's real, anything. They just, oh, so that's something. So it's really important for me and TV2 that we are on social media. And when I have done, when it's gone so well there, I feel like this is really my passion right now. But as we know, diving was also my passion, and that changed. So of course it can change again, but right now I feel like I have so much more to do in Hub 2 and with social media for TV2, and I'm so happy being there, but we have to keep evolving. So I don't know what the next chapter will be, but I hope that this is going to be a long chapter, and then I find something else that I love.
But since you started to work at TV2, you became even more famous, recognizable. I remember the situation, we were walking all together after Sommerfest, and some kids seen you and they started to run and say, oh, this is Julia Thorsen, can we take a picture with you?
Yeah.
So what's the secret of this? Like, because several people are creating TikToks, but exactly you were called TV2 lady. So what's the secret of Julia Thorsen then?
I think it's a combination of luck, of course, and also that I came in at the right time. Like TV2 was big. We had 70,000 followers when I started, but then I came and had the idea of posting even more. And so there were a lot of videos with my face on it that went well, and it was also when TV2 was going up. So I think it was luck, and also I came in with a new motivation, and like I really want to do well. I want to prove myself that, okay, you gave me a shot. I'm so thankful. I'm gonna do everything I can. And also I post on my own social media, and I always give a piece of myself to the videos that I make. So I don't know what the real reason is, but I think that it's because I present a real person. Like, it is me. I don't just stand there like, the news, here you go. I'm also like, I try to be a real person for them and be like someone that they can trust. And because they see me quite often when they scroll, so they remember me. And I've also told that I have a face that makes a lot of weird faces. And they're like, oh, we remember because you do so many weird things. I'm like, thank you. It's my face.
And this is what, like, I'm as the person from the side can see that I think your uniqueness, especially, this is that you're super like alive. And this is what you're saying, this is your emotions, this is how you talk, this is how you joke, and etc. So this is what people like, I think. So this is what works, as we see.
And when you're a news station on social media, it's different from when you're on TV, because you have to present a real person, because social media is a lot of real people showing their real life. And we don't show anything of our life. We have to present something in a way that they need to want to listen. So it's a different way of working, but I've figured out that the more real you are and the more they know about you. So a lot of people know me as TV2 lady, but they also know that my name is Julie. They probably know that I'm a diver. So I think that mest helped and Musically helped. So I'm not a completely new face. They have seen me, not a lot maybe, but sometimes throughout their life. And then when I suddenly appear again, they're like, there's something here that I know. So I still get a lot of comments, Basti mest Julie. I'm like, yes.
Still?
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, how do you remember me? I look so different. But so I've been a part of people's lives for like in weird periods. And now this is the biggest one, like TV2, nothing can compare to that one. But I think that I just, I'm a person that has just been like, hey, and then leave, and hey, and then leave. So there's a lot of factors that have made me the way I am, but I think it's helped me and people knowing me, and also TV2, that I can present the news in a way that they trust me and also that they want to listen.
What you said, TV2 had around 77,000 followers on TikTok. Now it's around 260,000. Do you feel that in any way this is due to your hard working and discipline and new ideas that now we can see this big result?
I think that when I got into TV2, they were posting like 1 to 2 videos a day. And when I came in, I was like, but I have so much more. I can make more videos. So I think I've pushed TV2 to be better and to post more and be more effective. But there's so many good people working there. So it feels wrong taking credit for anything because I wouldn't be anywhere without TV2, but TV2 would be anywhere without me. So I think I've helped, and we as a team talk so much, and we're like, how can we evolve? So there's so many ideas that has made TV2 the way it is, but I think that I have helped from the start because of my willing to try and fail. So I'm like, okay, we can try this thing and I can be the face, and if it doesn't work, doesn't matter. Social media, like a video has, and then it's over. Like a video has no life on social media. Like you watch it and then you swipe and then you might have remembered some of the news, but you forget who presented it, you forget a lot of things, like the pictures behind. So it's just willing to try, and I think that the team collectively has become stronger and more willing to evolve. And it's might have been me, but I would give like my team all the credit. We do it together.
And that's true, because I've seen how Habito working, and that you guys all together all the time, that you really like share your ideas, and that I feel that this is big concentration of support to each other.
Yeah.
So maybe in the end this is secret of all of this. How do you imagine your life going forward? Because again, I quote you, you said, I don't think I'll be filming TikTok until I'm 60.
Maybe.
So you don't imagine that. So what's your plan?
Right now, my plan is to make TV2 TikTok the best that it could be and give my all to that. I still have so much more to give. But of course, when I become older, I want to evolve. And I don't know if that will be in TV2 TikTok space, social media, but I love really working with a team that is so inspiring. And when we have a group that we need to reach, which is a younger generation, I really love doing that because they have so many cool ideas. Like the younger generation, they're so smart. I don't think I was that smart when I was so young, but they enlighten me every single day, and if we do something wrong, they tell us right away. So I really like working with that generation, and I think that even though I get older and might not be the face on TikTok or post videos, I still want to work with that generation because you learn so much from them. But I don't know if it will be in social media or on television or writing books or having a show. I don't know, but I really love the media space, so I want to stay there, but I'm not saying no to anything right now. So we'll see. It's very exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting. And my last question for today, what is the meaning of the life?
To be happy and to do something that fulfills you. I would be nowhere if I didn't do something that I loved. And every day I go to work, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like going and doing something that I love. So just find something that you're really passionate about and stick to it and work hard, and then life will just be amazing.
Beautiful words.
Thank you.
It was really my last question. I'm super grateful you for this conversation. I feel really that you tried your best to be sincere and share all pieces of your life. And you're really interesting, unique person. And this is big honor, honestly, to have interview with you. So thank you for today.
Thank you. It was amazing to be here.
Thank you. And only what I would like to say, this is that we guys ask you to like, to comment, and to follow. This is the most important things for us. I'm going to be super grateful for this, because for you it's really don't cost a lot, but for us it means a lot. So thank you for today.
Thank you.
And yeah, have a nice day.
You too.